everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a great day today. So, today I'm reacting to Amberlynn Reid's newest short video called Exaggerating Food Issues, Going to a Different Program, question mark, and Horrible Storm. So, this should not take long because the video itself was 14 minutes and 40 seconds, but I'm only reacting to, I think, half of it, where she talks about the issues with food. So it would seem she's looking to go into different programs because she's not getting the answers that she wants from the people that she's currently talking to. Uh, for those of you coming to watch this video, maybe you're from Amber's channel and you don't know me. I have had issues with food in the past. I had a problem with food. It took me 6 years to get completely in recovery. I have the same issue that Amber does, but mine is in recovery where hers is not in recovery. So when I react to Amber, I'm covering it from that perspective. So I want to go over the video and also the comments that people have already left her on the video. And then I'm going to move on to the foodie beauty content because she did a healthcare video and I want to cover that. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So let me just go ahead and share the screen. Okay, and there is Amber. So the beginning part of this video, apparently there's a really nasty storm in her area. There's tornado warnings and whatnot. So like that was going on. She also was talking about a book she's been reading. Uh, Amber, if you want to do different content on your channel, can I recommend that if you're going to do book reviews, just put all that into a video for those who might be interested in books? Just a suggestion. I mean, it's your channel, you can do what you want, but I think it would kind of give you an idea, the people that are coming to your channel, if they're interested in the book reviews, like you can kind of get feedback and comments and maybe suggestions from your viewers about what books you can read and how you liked it. Just a thought. Before we get into the video, let's get into the comments from people there. So Aaron Stonelake says, Amber is really here at 500 pounds, telling us she has a large stomach and portion control issues rather than serious mental health issue where she uses food to cope emotionally. This is like an alcoholic trying to enter rehab without committing to be sober, that they drink just like everyone else, but just more. And all they need is a magic pill to stop them without doing any emotional work. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. If you're not in recovery, sometimes you will do mental, emotional, verbal gymnastics to give yourself permission to do things that you really shouldn't be doing. You'll justify it. Example, if you're having a B moment or about to have a B moment, you'll use the word cravings. You'll say, oh, I'm just craving something. Using the word craving, it's a way to give yourself permission to do it. Oh, I was craving this, so that makes it okay. Because craving doesn't sound that severe versus having a B moment. In your mind, if you're not saying to yourself, I'm having a B moment, then you're saying it's cravings, and it makes it okay. So, watching Amber, listening to Amber, I feel that she's still giving herself permission and making excuses rather than owning it all and just standing still and taking full accountability. She's still trying to point the finger and blame shift. And if you're looking to get in full recovery, the only way that's going to happen is full accountability, Amber. Sarah W. says, girl, they're making you wait a year for your own safety. They're not doing it to be mean. Clearly, if they thought you could handle the surgery right this second, then you would have been approved. But that's not the case. Take it as it is and get yourself together. This next year, you'll be 100 times more successful after surgery that way. Also, a food problem, overeating, is still an eating problem. You can try to downplay it all you want and say it's not a B moment, But the reality of it is you still have food issues, whatever you label it. So I was watching part of the video, and again, Amber was doing those verbal gymnastics, the mental gymnastics of, oh, because I'm not doing these certain behaviors that other people might do or have done, because I'm not doing them, I don't have a problem with food. Amber, everybody is different. Everybody handles a B moment differently. It's not one size fits all. I'm not wanting to trigger anybody, but when I had a problem with food, it wasn't like I had a whole spread of food in front of me. It was just a matter of I never let my stomach be empty. Like I was literally addicted to my stomach being full, because when your stomach is full, you're not thinking of what's hurting you inside. So I would just constantly just be eating to keep my stomach full. I know that sounds weird to some people, but that's what happened with me. So what I went through is what perhaps you're not going through, but it doesn't mean I didn't have a problem and you do. We both do. We both did. I will always uh, be an addict that way, but the difference is I'm in recovery and you're not. You're still in that phase of oh, well, other people go to extremes, and because I'm not going to certain extremes, that must mean that my problem is lesser or it's not so bad, and therefore they should give me the surgery. No, ma'am. No, no. In the last React video, I showed the thumbnails from videos that you did just a few months ago, where you were showing yourself eating the food and you were showcasing that in the thumbnail. That means you're still monetizing your problem. And if you're monetizing a problem, how can you get over a problem if you're using it to make profit? It just can't happen. You've got to separate profit from the problem. You've got to find something else to make into content. That might be a daunting task if you've relied for so long on something to make you money, but you are a YouTuber, you're a creator. That means you should create. That means you should be more creative and innovative and think outside the box. You can do that. You just have to motivate yourself to do that. And Sarah's right. They're making you wait a year for your own safety, because if you have a problem with food and you don't get it under control, it could lead to disastrous results after the surgery is over. It can lead to disastrous results. It could result in your stomach rupturing or a medical emergency. So the doctors don't know you to be mean to you. You're a patient. They don't know you personally. They've got nothing against you. As a patient, they're just looking out for you and saying it'd be better for you to wait a year, because the surgery is very intense. We want to make sure that you get the full benefit of it, and we're going to make sure that nothing happens to you after the surgery's done. Leah Harris says, Amber, if you don't have a B moment, going a year without a B moment shouldn't be hard. Either way, you overeat to the point of being ill. And if you do that after receiving the surgery, it could be detrimental. The doctors wanting to address your eating problems shouldn't be a surprise. And I guess any other program would make you do the same thing. Right, because it is a concern. It is definitely a concern. When Amber was doing Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and all that, y'all remember that period where she was doing Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers? And I believe it was, is it Octavia or Octavia? She bought a whole bunch of different products. I knew right away it wasn't going to work. And I wasn't being a negative Nancy thinking that way. Here's why diet plans don't work for people with eating problems. Because diet programs are all about helping you do portion control and lose weight, which she needs to do. But there's no diet program that can address the mental, emotional, and psychological issues that you have wrapped around food. They don't address what's going on in your head. So that that's like just doing something and you're only getting half of what you need. In order to be successful, you need all of what you need. If you got a problem with food and perhaps you are too heavy, do you need to do portion control? Do you need to eat healthy? Absolutely. But you also need your emotions and your mind to be healthy. That's why therapy is so important because the mind controls the body. Believe it or not, the stomach is not the problem. The stomach is just an organ that you have that you put food into, but really what's driving you is what's in your head. So, Octavia, Jenny Craig, uh, Weight Watchers, none of them are set up for people that have eating problems. They're not there to put you in recovery. They are not there to cure you. They are there to help you lose some pounds. They might be more successful for people that don't have EDs. They like you, the problem you got a problem with food, but it's different. But she's a severe case and she's monetizing her problem. So she needs more intense treatment. Start with the head, work your way down. Sarca- Words. Sarcastic me says, you love the diagnosis when it benefits your narrative at the time. That's true. She wants to hear what she wants to hear. She's looking for that doctor that agrees with her and says, we'll give you the surgery right now. Amber, if you found a doctor like that right now, I would seriously be questioning things. I would seriously question that person if they gave you that diagnosis because that's somebody who does not care about your health before the surgery or after. They're just looking to make money. I would not go to that doctor. I would not get a surgery with that doctor because, again, that could lead to lethal results. Noah says, with all due love and respect, the surgery is not rehab. Rehab is rehab. If you feel like you have no control over your eating or exercise, get help. This surgery will not cure your love for junk food or your aversion to exercise. I know you can succeed, and I'm rooting for you. Eat a normal amount of calories in a day, eating fresh and balanced foods, and exercise every day. Go for a walk around town or get a treadmill and walk an hour on it every day. I wish you love and healing. I like I like your comment, Noah. And I agree, surgery is not rehab. See, the problem with Amber is that she's looking for a quick fix. Amber, it took you a while to go from the 300s all the way up to 500. They have an old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. And if that's true, then it took you time to get to the 500s. It's going to take you time to get out of the 500s. You let things get this far for this long, it's going to take time to undo it. So, you need to get into therapy. Stop looking for doctors and nurses and dietitians that will just simply go along with you and act like yes men. Listen to people that know what they're doing and they are looking out for you. They're not being mean to you, they're not bullying you, they have nothing against you. They're just simply taking in the information and saying, look, this is what has to happen. This is why it has to happen. Just, like trust the process. Trust it. Stop fighting against it. Stop looking for a yes man. Like stop being so eager to look for a magic wand somewhere. No, there's none that exists. Trust me. Just another halal doll says, what you're missing is that a B moment, like most things, falls on a spectrum. A B moment ranges from just eating 2 or 3 times what the average person eats in a sitting to eating everything in sight like condiments. You are having B moments by definition. It's not 2 to 3 times what you normally eat, it's 2 to 3 times a normal intake for the average person at any given time. You are absolutely having B moments. if you are maintaining your BMI. That's true. That's absolutely true because I'm not sure how many calories it takes to maintain 500 pounds, but if she went into therapy for whatever issues that might be wrapped around food, and if she just decreased her calorie intake, she would drop weight like crazy. At her current weight, she would drop weight like mad. You're maintaining your BMI, which you are, and that's okay. It's okay to have problems and not be perfect, but you won't ever get past this and get approved until you truly accept it and work on it. So Amber's been doing her vlogs and showing herself eating healthy food, but my question to you is, Amber, if you are doing all the right things, if you're eating healthy food, why haven't you been dropping weight like mad? You should be losing a lot more weight. Is it because you are so sedentary and you're not moving around? Because it's calories in, calories out. You know, and you should eat whatever number of calories it takes to keep you healthy. And it's also based on your activity level. If you're taking in, I'm just going to throw a number out there. If you're taking in, say, 3,000 calories, right? You should base your calorie intake on what it takes to, keep you healthy, but reserving a certain number of calories for, using that energy to do things. So if you're not doing much, if you're very sedentary, if you're sitting around a lot, you're not burning that many calories. And walking is great exercise if that's all you can do. But walking, unless you do a lot of it, it doesn't burn that many calories. It really doesn't raise your heart rate up that much. So if you're walking, you don't need that much in the way of calories. So be careful with the calorie loading. Like your body can only burn off what you let it burn off, and then the rest turns to fat. Kid says, regardless of whatever you feel is a B moment, it doesn't negate the fact that you don't get to 500 pounds without a very disordered relationship with food. Semantics don't matter, right? And that's what she's doing. She's playing the semantics game. Oh, other people do it this way and I don't do it. Therefore, I don't have a problem. Ma'am, as someone that used to be there, and it took me 6 years to be in recovery, you are there. You're still there. And you can play the semantics game all you want, but you're still there. So you can duck, dodge, and weave that fact, but it's the truth. You're still there. You're still there. And you will continue to be there if you keep avoiding the work and if you are fighting the process. If you put the work in, you get the reward. If you don't put the work in, no reward for you. Brandon says, go to a new clinic. You'll hear the same thing. Overeating or having a B moment doesn't matter. If you can't control it, you'll hurt yourself and be a liability. Right. Yes, that's true. Cal says, it's almost like years of you making excusing and using the B word as a way to excuse your bad behavior. Being blank towards your ex and to avoid accountability is finally catching up to you, and I'm living for it. Well, I hope she gets her act together. You can't, if you make real change in yourself, if you're experiencing real personal growth, you can't play the blame game. You can't do the gymnastics in your head or with your emotions. Growth means accountability. Standing still and saying, I got myself here. It's entirely my fault. I have no one else to blame. Therefore, I'm not going to blame anyone. I'm going to stand still and say, I did it. I did this to myself. I got myself here. And now I'm going to get on the path and get myself out of it. Because you know what, Amber, and I'm not being mean saying this, at your current weight, as long as you've been heavy, even if you lost all the weight, there'd be another part of the process. You would have to have skin removal surgery. So it's like, even if you got on the path now, it's going to take a while to get yourself down to a healthy weight. where you can move around and do things, but then you're going to have skin removal surgery, and you want to be healthy for that. You really want to be healthy for that. So, like, the recovery process is going to be long. It might be tiring, it might be exhausting, it might make you cranky. But again, there are rewards on the path. They come in little spurts, but you're not going to get them if you don't do the work. Cody says, why is it so hard not to have a B moment for a year, especially for someone who claims they no longer have a B moment? Answer, because they're having B moments, because they're still having them. She may not have them on camera, but they're still happening. If she's still doing the wordplay and the semantics, she's still having them. She's just not doing it in front of everybody. That's why. That's why. She's doing that sneak eating. Yes, Amber, I know about that. I know all about that. And the sneak eating is, you know what you're doing is not good for you. And you don't want the judgment from people. You don't want to hear different things from people. So you sneak eat. You hide it from people. It's a source of shame and embarrassment. But you're trying to spin this narrative to your audience. I'm getting healthy. I'm getting healthy. So you're not going to eat on camera, but it doesn't mean you're not doing it off camera. You probably are. More than likely you are. Anand says you weren't misdiagnosed with blank. You specifically told the psychologist what they needed to hear to get a certain diagnosis. It's called manipulation. Yep. And she's very manipulating. Very manipulating. It's very much about, I'm going to do and say what I need to get my way. Well, that doesn't work on certain people, Amber. You know, some people can just meet other people and know they're lying, and some people will see right through you. May says, but Amber, if you do not have a B moment or have a B moment blank, like you claimed, why are you comparing it to being a blank? Well, because a problem with food is it's still the same as having a problem with a party favor. You know, addiction is addiction. You can be addicted to anything in life, y'all, not just chemicals or food. If is something is imbalanced in your life, it's taken over, you're obsessed with it, that leads to addiction. You can, like I said, you can get addicted to anything. I used to know someone that was actually addicted to working out, had an ex that was so addicted to working out that if he couldn't work out for 6 hours plus a day, he would absolutely just go bananas. So, like, anything could become an addiction. An addiction is something that you get into, and then it consumes your life and takes it over. So whether it's being addicted to rugs or food or anything, it's still a bad thing. And all addiction requires therapy and treatment and counseling, and you just got to do the work to put things back in balance. Sandra says, do you think that the surgery is going to cure your food problem? Even after surgery, you can eat junk in small amounts all day. Some people get the surgery, lose 50 to 100 pounds, and then gain it back because they haven't dealt with the problem. The clinic is trying to get you to fix that first so you don't get the surgery thinking that it will solve your problem. Correct. There are people that have had the surgery and their stomach stretches back out and they're right back to where they started. And if she's not gotten a handle on her problem, she's headed in that direction. All right, let's see. There's a lot of these comments are the same. So the love to be beloved says, can you show us your DMs? Not a single person told you that you can get the surgery in 3 to 4 months. There's just no way. Whenever you need to prove us wrong, you suddenly get friends out of nowhere and fans that DM you whatever you want to hear or prove. Make it make sense. Also, can I add to that? even if there are people sending her messages, DMs saying, oh, I got the surgery in 3 or 4 months, which I seriously doubt. Because I've talked to people that have had the surgery. They told me the process, that it's a long process. There is a lot of things you have to do in order to even get approved, including you have to be on a 2-week diet of nothing but liquids for 2 weeks or longer. I don't think she's going to be able to do that. But even if there are people sending her DMs, those people that are sending her DMs, we don't know their health status. Maybe they were in better health than Amber. Maybe the doctor is looking at Amber and saying you have to wait at least a year. It could be because of her problem with food. Plus, they might be looking at some health issues that might be different than somebody else. Maybe somebody else got the surgery faster because they were in better health. And that meant the surgery could be safer and more successful. So there you go, Amber. Maybe it's not just about your weight. Maybe it's not just about your eating problem. Maybe it has to do with the doctors are looking at everything. They're considering everything. Do you have any ongoing health problems that might be a concern, that might lead to complications during surgery? There's a lot of things they look at. They look at your blood work, I'm sure. They look at everything. So stop being such a brat and saying, I deserve it. You should just do it sooner. They're looking out for you. They're not being bullies. They're not being mean. There's a reason why they are doctors and they go to school for years and study, because they want to take care of their patients. They want you to make it off the table successfully. Can't pronounce his name. Amberlynn uploads videos showing her having beam moments, 5,000 plus calories. Also, Amberlynn, I don't have beam moments. Oh, yes, you do, Amber. It takes one to know one, girl. You can't lie to me. You know, somebody who's been there, you can't lie to them. You can't look them in the eye and lie. They will see right through you. Okay? You're still there. The fact that you're doing all this wordplay and doctor shopping, that tells me everything I need to know. Everything. The budgeting bee says this is the strangest thing they've ever heard. Yeah, so strange for doctors to prolong surgery for patients who are mentally and physically safe to go to the procedure at this time. Right, they're looking out for her. They're not being mean. All right, so I could stay here for a while on these comments, but let's get into the video, okay? There are a lot of great comments on the video, and all the people that commented, you had a lot of great points you put out there. Wish I could cover them all, but I'd like to just get into Amber. So let's do this. Let's cover Miss Amberlynn Reid today.
Little headspace, you know? So today is Saturday. So regarding my dietitian, talking to my surgeon, that's probably not going to happen until next week. So I'm not going to get any more answers or anything till then. So I will make sure to keep you guys updated. I've had a lot of people tell me that I should see if I can get weight loss surgery with a different program, because some of you were like, actually, I'm not even going to say some of you, a lot of you are in.
And you know what, though? Those people that might be sending you DMs, none of them are doctors. And even if they were, you're not their patient. They're not doing blood work on you. They're not giving you a physical. They don't know your health. They can have their opinions, but they're not in a position to make that call. Only a doctor that's treating you can make that call. So they can have their opinions. They can go, oh, I got this surgery and you should go to different doctors. Who are they to give you medical advice if they're not treating you?
In my DMs, telling me that this is like the strangest thing they've ever heard, because
it's not strange to me, Amber. Look, You have a problem with food. You do, whether it's on camera or off camera, you have one. And you monetize your problem with food. You made the decision long ago to include eating food as your content. You figured out that's where the views came from, that's where the money was coming from. You made that into profitable content. And nothing in life is for free. You either pay now or you pay later, but you're gonna pay. So the cost of taking your problem with food and monetizing it, the price tag was your health. Your health has declined. You've gained a tremendous amount of weight, which has led to loss of mobility. There's a lot of things that you used to do that you can't do now that make you uncomfortable. So you're paying for trading your health for a YouTube paycheck. And I hope that you put the brakes on with that, because who knows how much more your body can put up with.
Like, weight loss surgery is supposed to help um, with binge eating. And
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. Surgery does not help with that. Therapy helps with that. All that the surgery can do is make your stomach smaller, but that can't fix what's going on in your head. Let's not forget that it's a mental, emotional issue as well. And I didn't understand that before. Like I'll confess to all of you, like I didn't realize that you can become addicted to food. I always thought of addiction as, say, drugs or alcohol. No, 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 no. You can become addicted to food, and where a lot of people who never experienced food addiction, you may look at somebody who is overweight or super morbidly obese, and because you haven't experienced that, you think, oh, it's just a issue with too much food, right? No, sometimes there can be other layers attached to that. I didn't realize that until I experienced a BED. Then I got it. Then I realized that it's more than just the food. There's other stuff that can be wrapped around that. It just and you in order to get over it, you got to get to the root of the problem. You got to go all the way back and just ask yourself, when did this problem start and why did it start? Am I medicating trauma? Am I medicating some kind of personal pain or sadness or depression or some bad events in my life that it's ingrained in my head and I just need to figure it out? I don't know what's going on with Amber. I am not her doctor. But in order to fix the problem, you got to go deep as far as you can possibly go in your mind and your emotions and pull that root out and figure it out. Because once you do, you'll get self awareness. You will have that self awareness. If you have self awareness, you can police yourself better. You can have those moments when you feel like you want to have a B moment and then stop yourself and go, wait a minute, I'm feeling this, I'm thinking about this, which is triggering this. I recognize that, and I'm not going to go there. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to go paint a picture. I am not going to give in to my urges. I'm going to understand my urges, what's triggering them, and just put the brakes on. Just put them on. She's still doing the semantic wordplay game, looking for different doctor shopping, looking for different dietitians. You don't need to go through all that, Amber. You just need to admit you've got a severe problem. And if the doctors are telling you you need to wait a year, take that year and be productive and work on yourself from the inside out. Work on the inside and work on the outside, and you'll get the results without the surgery.
a friend of mine, if you're watching, hi, said something that really, I was like, oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. She said, it feels like or seems like having me wait a whole year is like telling a drug addict, I want you to be a whole year sober before you go into rehab, you know? Like, that was a really good metaphor, and I was like, "Yeah, it kinda does feel that way." Like, I don't binge in the definition that they say.
People go into rehab to get in recovery. And how are you going to get in recovery if you're still monetizing your problem with food? See, your problem is a bit different than others because where most people have a problem, they're not monetizing it. You are. You turned it into profit. So it makes the situation a little bit more complicated, doesn't it? Yeah. When you sit there and you take a problem, rather than solving a problem, you're turning it into money. So how are you going to get away from that, Amber?
Like 3 times the amount of food you normally eat. Like, I've never done that. And people are coming out of the woodwork saying like how binging is like you get so desperate you eat the condiments in your home. What? I've never done that. I only ever want to eat like junk. Um, and that's
So you're really you're hearing about extreme cases of people who have B moments, and you're saying because I don't have those, I don't have a problem. Yeah, you do, because you're still eating 2 to 3 times what you should, which is going to lead to what? It's going to lead to health problems, further health problems. It's going to lead to weight gain. Amber, you're 500 pounds. And I'm not exactly sure how tall you are. You're what? You're what? You're a shorty like me. It's nothing wrong with being a shorty. I'm 5'4". You're somewhere in that neighborhood. If you're a shorty, you don't have much real estate, girl. Let's just put it out there, okay? You're short, you got a small body, you don't have much real estate. So every little bit counts. And you're eating 2 to 3 times what you should. So let's do a comparison. I'm 5'4". I'm about 130, okay? If you're about the same height as I am, so you should be, I don't know, like I remember the old videos used to do. You were in the 300s and you were fairly active. You know, you were still heavy, but you could dance, you could go places, you could walk around in the 300s. And you're 200 pounds heavier than that, which has impacted your life severely. You have limited mobility. You don't want to go anywhere. Like, not being mean here. I'm not fat shaming, but that 200 pounds counts, doesn't it? Because being extremely heavy, extremely overweight, it's led to you not really wanting to go places, do things. It's changed you. Like your body is struggling to do things, to function. Can you imagine how much strain you're putting on your back? You know, carrying all the extra weight, I'm sure your spine is killing you. And you better be careful because that could lead to a slipped disc or a pinched nerve, and those really, really hurt. Like you're short and you're not tall, so your bodies are just trying to find a way to cope with it all. So if you want the surgery, wouldn't it be a good idea to start taking care of yourself now? Because let's just say the surgery wasn't a year. At the current weight you are, within a year, you could probably lose easily 50 to 100 pounds. Can you imagine how much better you would feel 100 pounds lighter? You could do more, you could move more, you'd feel better. You get the reward of the hard work.
that's why I feel like, I mean, this is obviously my fault.
It is.
Um,
Nobody else got you there. Did anybody put that food in your mouth? Nope. You can't blame anybody but you. Self-awareness is just standing still and saying, I did this. I did it. No one else is to blame but me. And since I'm the one that did it, I can undo it.
as well, I just don't feel like I binge. And
You do.
I'm
I'm sorry, overeating would still be considered a B moment. Whether you graze all day, whether you are eating 2 to 3 times the amount every single time you sit down to eat, just because it's not like a spread of food all at once doesn't mean it's not a B moment. You're just spreading out your B moments into smaller increments, but it's still a B moment.
I'm just starting to like see it more clearly now, because like I don't think I've ever wanted to look further deeper into, hey, is this binging or is this just a food addiction? I never wanted to take the time to do.
Both are harmful. Whether it's a B moment or a food problem, they're both detrimental to your health. Okay? Stop trying to find words that are less severe in order to escape what's happened here, what you're doing to yourself. Whether it's severe overeating spread out over a long period or a B moment, they're still bad for you. Look what they've already done to you. The combination of the two.
Do that. So it was always just so much easier. I hate how this eyebrow is darker, but it doesn't look like that in person, but on camera it does. It was just so much easier to just be like, yeah, I binge.
Yeah, you do.
It was like denial, you know? It's just,
Of course. And you know why you're in denial? Because that's if you deny something, you are escaping accountability. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, there's a sense of shame and embarrassment and awkwardness. And like when you stand still, if you know you've done wrong to yourself or wrong to somebody else, it takes a lot of courage to stand still and admit the truth. Like I hurt myself or I hurt somebody else, I've done wrong. It takes a lot of courage to look yourself in the mirror and say, I did this. But you know what? That moment of courage is rewarding. It is, because that's when growth can happen. Personal growth can happen. Running from the truth does not change the situation. Running from the truth, I like to compare it to, say, a big pothole in the road. You come to a big pothole in the road, you can walk around it, you can jump over it, you can tunnel under it, you can fly over it, but the pothole's still there. You know what fixes the pothole? When you walk up to it and say, okay, it's a pothole. What can I do to fix it? And you fill it up, and then it's no longer a pothole. It's not there. Fix the problem rather than running away from it.
a lot easier to say that instead of like, no, what's really going on? You know, I was just trying to fall onto something. And by doing that, I have actively ruined my future. So,
How so? You're not that Amber. Amber, I'm 52 years old. I don't know how old you are. Probably like you're close to 30, somewhere in there. You got a lot of life ahead of you if you take care of yourself. There's a lot of things you can do. A lot of things. I'm so hating this defeatist attitude from you. It sucks. It's negative. I can't win. I give up. I'm a failure. Stop that. Stop that. Growth does not live there. Okay, cut it out. I want to walk over there and shake you by the shoulders. What is wrong with you? You are not that old. And even if you were, there's still life ahead of you. If you take care of yourself, you're on YouTube, you're making money. You can do a lot of good with that money, a lot of good for yourself. There's a lot of potential there. It's just a matter of you getting your head out of your butt and seeing it. What is the matter with you? Stop being a negative Nancy. See the possibility, see the potential. Look for it. Seek it out.
I'm gonna do my eyeliner after I talk to y'all. I think this is a good example that like you can't fall back on things. If you want to get help, you need to be very honest with, you know, professionals, but with yourself. Very, very honest. And
Yep.
I'm learning the hard way that
And you know what's also important? Being honest with other people but you're leaving one part out, being honest with yourself. A good relationship starts with a good relationship with yourself, being truthful with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop with the semantics and the wordplay and the gymnastics. Cut it out. You have to have a good relationship with yourself. You have to be your own best friend. Have honest conversations with yourself, not in a weird way, but just have some honest dialogue and keep having it.
Living in delusional land and
Right.
denial land
I don't live
gets you nowhere.
right.
And it's easy to sit there and be like, yeah, I eat a large quantity of food and I feel guilty afterwards. You know, it sounds like binge eating. But realistically, I eat a large quantity of food because that's how I've been since I was a child. I just eat large portions. And I feel
Ma'am, no. No, no, no. I mean, yeah, that's for you. Let me share something with you about me. I come from a large family, a Southern family. We love to eat, okay? Um, love that soul food. Love that Southern cooking. I love it. My grandmother, God bless her, she's not here anymore, but she loved to cook. That was her way of expressing love to the family, was cooking a lot of food, and I mean a lot of food. And in my family, portion control was, not portion control was if you don't have any space left on your plate, then you can't put any more. Then you finish the plate, come back for seconds and thirds. So I get it. I mean, food was love in my family. And there are people in my family that are overweight, but it's, like, I get it. You were a child and food was love, maybe, but you're an adult now. At what point do you change things?
guilty afterwards because I don't like being fat. So it's like, I don't know, there's such like it's not black and white. There's like this fine gray area. And it frustrates me because like weight loss surgery is just like continuously and constantly on my mind.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Look, you explored that option. They said you got to wait a year. Now what? Big question. Now what? You got people in your face telling you, no, you're not appropriate for the surgery right now. So now what? The now what is you have to do the work. Do the work. Get yourself in better health. Then maybe in a year, if you feel like you still need it, you still want it, it might happen. You can't give up. You can never give up. Never give up the fight for a happier, healthy life. That fight is worth fighting for. It's worth putting in the work for.
Because I want it so bad. And it's like, should I go to another program? Because a lot of people are telling me I should. And it's like, I really trust in, the people that I'm seeing now, but this is a very big change in my life.
Now, question, Amber, while you're doctor shopping, because that's what you're doing, you're doctor shopping, you're looking for yes men. What's going on? What's going on at home? What are you doing to prepare for the surgery? What are you doing to prepare yourself? You're sitting at home and you're overeating. You're not taking any steps to fix yourself. You're waiting around for some surgery that may not happen. In the meantime, you're overeating. Do you see the problem? Do you see it? It's right there in front of you. The biggest and hardest work starts at home. It starts with you. Results start with you. They start with you, they end with you. The surgery will not fix anything except for the shape of your stomach, the size of it. But what's that going to do if you're overeating? Amber, do you understand that even if you got the surgery tomorrow, what could happen to you? You're still going to have those urges to eat. And if you try to overeat like you're doing right now, you could rupture your stomach. You're going to vomit over and over and over again, because that's what happens with people that have the surgery. If they overeat even just a little bit, they will get violently sick. That's not pleasant. Don't wish that upon yourself. I can already almost see what's going to happen to you if you have the surgery with what's going on. You're going to get sick over and over again. You're going to sit there and cry and be angry and frustrated because those urges are going to tell you to eat. You can't. You're going to get sick. And then you're going to sit there and cry and stomp your feet and go, why can't I do what I want to do? Well, because you got surgery and physically you're not able to. So fix the problems at home. Don't get to that point.
That I want, that I need, and it's to save my life. And right now, I stay confused. I just stay confused because misdiagnosing someone, it does happen. It's a common thing.
They did not misdiagnose you. They didn't. They just said, hey, you have to wait a year. They didn't say no, never. They said it'd be best to wait a year. Take their advice, listen to them, work on yourself, and stop being so doggone stubborn and lazy about it.
That happens. Obviously, I just went through the whole lung debacle where we thought it was one thing, the doctors thought it was one thing, turns out it was something else.
And here you go. She just mentioned a health problem that she's had before. That might play into why the doctors are saying, wait a year. You just had this situation with your lungs. They might be looking at all these different health issues that have happened. And that, along with the eating problem, is making them say no for a year.
And getting misdiagnosed is very common. My whole, I had uterine cancer, and I'm sure everyone who watches knows that. And I went to the doctor for the symptoms that I was having. I went to the ER, and I always left with the same diagnosis, a UTI. And that was something that I went through for a couple years. It was always a UTI. And that's a complete misdiagnosis because it was cancer the whole time causing those symptoms. And ever since I had a hysterectomy, I've never had a single one of those symptoms again. And it's frustrating that being misdiagnosed is a thing and can happen, but it's also common because doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, they are not robots at all. So yeah, okay, I'm just back to rambling about weight loss surgery again. I swear that's not what these vlogs are going to be.
But they are. You're turning that into a topic to make you money. I'm just going to say it. You're taking this and you're making it into a money thing. Because look, you got views on this, so you're talking about it endlessly because maybe it makes you a little bit of money.
I just feel like I want to express myself a little bit more.
Here's the sad thing about you. You create a channel, you have an audience. I just got through reading some of the comments. It sounds like you've got some people on your channel that they want to get behind you and they care about you. And it's so sad to me that there are people out there, strangers, that care about you, and they care about you more than you care about yourself. Isn't that sad? That there are complete strangers who don't know you personally, but they watch your content and they leave nice comments for you. And due to your past behaviors, there's a feeling of disbelief, naturally so, because you keep flip-flopping. Again, that is your fault, the flip-flopping. I care about my health, but then I don't. I'm on a diet plan, but then I get off the diet plan and I'm doing videos showing myself eating food. Can you understand the frustration of people? Can you understand why they don't believe in you? You created that. Your word and your honesty, I compare it to, let's just say, having credit. In the beginning, when you've not lied to people, when you've not gone against your own word, you start off with good credit. And every time you flip-flop, every time you lie, every time you go against yourself, you lose credit. And now you're at the point where people, they want to get behind you. They want to believe you, but you got to give them something to believe in. You've got to show them that you mean what you say, that you care about your health. that you care about yourself. You can't be a flip-flopper. The only place that flip-flops are appropriate is the beach, Amber. Or if you live in Florida, because we wear flip-flops all the time in Florida. I used to live there. But still, you know, people want to get behind you. They want to support you, but you flip-flop too much. You play these word games and the semantics, and you're in denial. So people are just reserving their judgment. They want to see some progress, and really it's up to you. You need to care about yourself as much as you want people to care about you and pay attention to you. It starts with you, it ends with you. If you don't care about yourself, don't expect other people to care for you. They care as much as you care. You have potential. You're on YouTube, you're making a YouTube paycheck. I don't know how much, not my business, but you're making that kind of money where anything you need, anything you want to help yourself, to heal yourself, you have access to. So stop being stupid with your money and buying useless knickknacks and things, and buy things that matter, that pertain to you. You could do things at home for free to help your health. You can walk. That costs nothing. You can watch dance and exercise videos on YouTube all day long and find some that work for you and burn some of those calories. You're on YouTube anyway, might as well make use of the educational parts of YouTube. Watch inspirational videos. There are motivational videos. There's all kinds of things you can do. It's just a matter of you doing them and committing to them. Commit to yourself rather than committing to flip-flopping. You know, like where you put your priorities and what you commit yourself to is what makes a difference, whether it's negative or positive. Okay?
And right now I'm just like, I'm very mad at myself
You should be.
because I feel like I exaggerated my food issues.
No, you didn't. No, no, you didn't. You know what happened? You just did the bare basic minimums, trying to fool the dietitians and the doctors to give you the surgery right away, and it did not work. They saw right through you. They said you wait a year, and so you got mad about it. You got salty because you did not get your way. You're still stuck in that toddler way of thinking rather than the adult version, which is, okay, I got the feedback. I'm going to get to work.
Because I was in such denial that I exaggerated my food issues when I first started seeing a psychologist.
You didn't exaggerate, you told the truth. And now that you're not getting the diagnosis you want, suddenly you over exaggerated. Nope, nope, no, you didn't.
Because I thoroughly believed that I had binge eating.
You do.
And it's,
I'm looking at you. One cannot lie to another. You have one. You have one. I used to do it too, Amber. At first, I wasn't aware I had a problem. I mean, because I never knew that that existed, having a problem with food. Listen, I grew up around people that had problems with party favors. And I always told myself I would not get addicted to those things. Watching them do what they do and what they went through, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I didn't. And the food problem snuck up on me because I didn't see that as something you can get addicted to. You can. And it can be just as lethal as the party favors. And the whole I'm just overeating thing did that too. Did it. Told myself that. Oh, I'm just overeating. It's no big deal. Oh, it is a big deal. Because it still leads to health problems, still leads to complications, still leads to feelings of shame and embarrassment and doing the sneak eating. Oh, yeah, 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 I did that too. One cannot lie to another. You got a problem with food, whether it's overeating or having a bee moment, you still have a problem. You still have a problem. You're still using that as medication for all your issues. Stop it. Go get therapy. Stop being in denial. Stop using different terms to make it seem like it's less severe. It's all bad.
it's like the more I actually learn about it and the more I actually learn about myself, I don't binge. I
You do.
don't binge.
You just do it. You do it off camera. I bet you do it off camera. I bet you do. Because if you didn't, why are you still 500 pounds? Why? What are you doing? Overeating, same thing.
And I know a lot of the haters are like,
nope, I'm not a hater. You can watch this whole video back. I am not a hater. I am somebody that I've been there. You're still there, and I'm giving my opinion. There's no hate here. I don't know you personally to hate you, Amber. Hate is a very strong emotion that I don't feel it except in extreme cases. This is not me being a hater. This is me just being truthful. And you should be truthful with yourself and stop all that using, oh, they're haters as a shield for honest opinion. You're on the inside looking out. I'm on the outside looking in. You're still there. I was once there. But just because I'm speaking to you doesn't make me a hater. It's just somebody who was once on your side of the fence. Now I'm on the other side looking at you and saying, girl, stop it. Stop lying to yourself. The more lies you tell yourself, the more you're stopping yourself from getting away from all of that. But me saying these things to you does not make me a hater. I don't know you to hate you. I may hate the things you do to yourself, and you're putting it on a public forum, and you're expecting sympathy and butt pats, and you want people to be concerned. At the same time, you're not concerned for yourself. You're not loving yourself, because I think that's a little bit of manipulation. You're saying to your audience, care about me, care about me, care about me. At the same time, you're flip-flopping and not caring about yourself and taking an active role in working on yourself. But your life choices are your life choices. It's your body. It's your life. You can do what you want with it. So you can choose to be in misery, or you can choose to not be in misery. It's all up to you. But either way, I don't hate you. I don't know you to hate you. I'm just here giving my opinion, and that's it.
you're just saying that so you can get weight loss surgery. No, I'm saying that because I'm finally choosing me. I'm finally wanting to be healthier. I'm finally wanting to understand myself more and why I am the way I
If
am.
you're choosing yourself, then why are you still overeating? Make it make sense. If you're choosing you, which is a great thing if you choose you, but you can't choose you and then choose to eat ice cream later. You can't choose to overeat. Overeating, if you got an eating problem, does not mean you choose you. It means you're choosing something else.
And it's like this whole time I've been so blind to that. Like, even towards the end of like seeing a psychologist, like there were several times where in my head I was like, there's no way that I have binge eating. And this was
You do though. Yeah. Listen to yourself, Amber. Do you know how many people that are addicted to, and I'm going to use code words here, rugs? Let's just say rugs. Do you know how many people who've been had a problem with rugs probably said the same thing? Oh, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. Nah, that's not an issue. I don't do it all the time. I don't do it 24/7. Therefore, it's not a problem. I'm not falling down drunk on the floor, throwing up on the bar. I don't have a problem because I'm not doing those things. Do you know how many people that have been addicted to rugs probably said those things? They say those things to keep themselves in denial. They'll sail down that river all day long. You're doing the same thing, ma'am.
before I even wanted weight loss surgery. And it's like, I'm just more aware now that I don't binge at all. I overeat a lot. Yes, I
There you go. Boom. She just said it. I overeat a lot. You still got a problem with food and you want the surgery. No. Because guess what? When you get the surgery, you can't overeat anymore. Those days are over. No more overeating. No more carbonated drinks. That's something for those who don't know. When you have the surgery, no more carbonated drinks. Your stomach can't handle it. There's a lot of things you can't do. You got to eat small amounts, and that's it. If you go over a little bit, you will throw up. Facts. So you're still overeating. You just said it. And you think you're ready for surgery? No. God, no.
do because I have a bigger stomach.
No, you don't. Nope. Nope. Nah. Maybe you've stretched your stomach out because of the overeating, but you can't. Uh, Blaming it on your stomach. Oh, it's the stomach's problem. The stomach is to blame. Okay.
Someone my size has a bigger stomach. So
That's because you stretched it out with food.
I overeat and I obviously feel guilty about it. Like anyone who overeats who is at a higher weight is going to feel guilty about it. That's point blank.
Okay, so that was her vlog video. I gave my thoughts. I don't hate you, Amber. I feel sad for you. I feel very sad and frustrated, like I'm sure a lot of people do, because you're in a position unique to other people. Like you've got the money, you've got the time, you've got the opportunity to work on yourself any way you want. Anything you need, you can purchase. You can buy exercise equipment. You can watch videos on YouTube. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can do. It's just a matter of doing them, committing to the process versus fighting it and looking for an easy way out or an easy path. There is none. It took you time to get to 500 pounds. It's going to take time to not be 500 pounds. To do that, you're going to have to do the work, not just the physical work, but the mental and emotional work, which is much more intense. Losing pounds, cutting calories is the easy part. Getting your issues with food under control is going to be the much harder part. Anybody who's been there, you know what I'm talking about. You've got to go deep within yourself. You've got to unravel the trauma or the issues, or go all the way back and say, what triggered all this? What brought me here? That takes a lot of self-reflection, a lot of work, and she's not even started. I can just tell she's not even started. So with that said, I'm going to go, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this React video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and have a good one. Bye-bye.